Good morning, YouTube. Today is March 3rd, 2015, and this is going to be my week 36, 37, and 38 post-op gastric bypass video. Let me get to the numbers. I've actually got a lot of things I wanted to talk about. I've been gone for so long that there's things that I wanted to tell you guys about. Okay, so last time I came to you, I weighed 179.4. Today, I weighed in at 175.8. So a total loss of 3.6 pounds since the last time you guys saw me. So 3 weeks, 3.6 pounds. It's okay. It is what it is, right? I know that week 36 I lost a pound of that. Week 37 I didn't lose anything. And so this past week was where I lost the bulk of that amount. So from my highest weight being 273, and my total loss since my surgery is I've lost 97.2 pounds. So pushing that 100-pound loss, I'm very, very close. I cannot wait to get there. Okay, so to goal, which is 155, I am 20.8 pounds away. And to my next goal, which is by March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day, I want to be at my 100-pound loss. So I still need to lose 2.8 pounds, which is totally doable because it is 2 weeks away, roughly 2 weeks away. So, well, actually I think exactly 2 weeks away today is St. Patrick's Day. So I just need to lose 1.4 pounds each week to get me to that goal, and that will bring me to 173, my 100-pound loss. So that's really awesome. Having breakfast. Okay. All right. So week 36. I missed week 36. I had a ride along with my boss at work, and that was on a Tuesday. And by the time the end of the day rolled around, I just wasn't feeling like making a video. So that was that. But I did have a non-scale victory that week, and it was a big non-scale victory. I fit into my wedding dress. And I'm a little surprised because I have always been saying I was 160 when I got married, and I'm pretty sure I was around 160. But I fit in my wedding dress, and it fit nicely. It zipped all the way up. So I don't know. That's a really cool non-scale victory. The other really awesome one is I fit into the wedding rings that we got married, or the day we got married, those rings. I fit into those as well now. Yes, it's weird. I have a couple sets of wedding rings. Not because I've been married many times, just I have a gold pair and then I have a silver pair. And that way I can match it to the jewelry I'm wearing of the day. I know, weird. But still, those are two things that were huge non-scale victories for me. Okay, so week 37, I took an impromptu trip to Bogota, Colombia, the country of Colombia, to visit my mom and dad. So that's why I didn't make a video that week. And so this week I have basically just been dealing with the reflections of that trip, and then also what we're going to get into is just I'm kind of having a little bit of low motivation at this point in the journey. Okay, so most of the stuff that's that I'm going to talk about today is going to be from my trip to Colombia. I went to visit my parents. They are missionaries, and they had been, at that point, they'd been in Colombia, I believe, about 5 weeks. And so I just wanted to go see them and get to visit Colombia. I've never been there before, so it was a really good trip. But on that trip, there were so many things that happened that were very... trying to think of how I want to word it. They were very special, very personal to me. And so last week, sorry, I have to get comfortable. Okay, so I just kind of wanted to take a week and just think about those things and to give that momentary pause to reflect and say, you know, when I look back at this moment, I'm going to say I appreciated that experience entirely. Okay, so what I've realized on this trip is that there are a lot of different kinds of non-scale victories. And I think there are different layers of non-scale victories. So like your top layer would be those ones that are kind of your surface non-scale victories. And I don't want to say they're shallow, but they kind of tend to be more on the shallow side. things like somebody giving you a compliment or noticing that you're getting more attention, or, you know, those things that are still very nice and still very important, but they're kind of just surface. The middle section of your NSVs are the ones that are more personal, the ones that actually mean a little bit more to yourself. So, as with anybody, airplane trip. I fit in my seat perfectly. I wasn't overflowing into the next person's seat. The armrest didn't pinch my fat. I could actually cross my legs in the airplane seat, not hitting the seat in front of me and not bumping the person next to me, which I think that is amazing. No, I didn't take a picture because, you know what? I don't need a picture to remember that. I enjoyed it the several planes I was on. So I didn't need a picture to, you know, to remember that. Okay, so the middle level also I feel like are things that will be, you know, fitting into a certain size, fitting into a chair, or fitting into something that you haven't been able to wear in a while, like my wedding dress. I think those are kind of those middle level of NSVs. While I was in Colombia, I didn't worry about what I looked like. It was so nice. I would get up in the morning, I would get dressed, I'd put a little bit of makeup on, and I was ready to go. And I didn't really worry about what I looked like. And that was amazing. I got to borrow for the first time my mom's clothes. My mom and I are roughly, she's still a little bit smaller than I am, but we are getting closer to that. And so I was able to borrow some of her clothes while I was there. I sat in one of those horrible lawn plastic chairs and I didn't worry about it breaking on me. That was awesome. And I got to tour a lot and I didn't get tired. Colombia, I believe, is 8,000 feet above sea level, so it's considered a high altitude city. And so I got to tour. We went up on this mountain, so then you're higher up than that. And I didn't get tired. I didn't get winded. And a lot of people say when you go from when you go to a high altitude country, you have a hard time catching your breath. And I didn't experience any of that. And one, I think it's because I'm young, but also my body is so much better. My body is fit. My body is able to do the things I want to do now. All right. And then there were a couple of, so on this, you know, the different layers of NSVs, I feel like there is a soul deep level. I feel like there is a level, sorry about that, it cut off for a second. Okay, so then you have the soul deep level. And these are ones that I don't think that we often verbalize, or we don't necessarily recognize as NSVs until after they've happened and you've reflected on them and you realize that, wow, what a deep non-scale victory. And I had two of these while I was in Colombia. The first one being when I got to meet some of my coworkers of my mom and dad's, or I met new people. I didn't feel embarrassed in the sense of, I didn't feel embarrassed for my parents to have to introduce me, their daughter, who was overweight. And it's nothing that my parents have said, and I actually felt the same way with my husband. You know, if he introduced me to friends, I used to feel embarrassed for him because I was overweight. And neither my parents or my husband have ever made me feel bad about being overweight. I think it was just something that was internal. I felt bad about it. And so on this trip, I didn't feel that. And I didn't realize, I've never verbalized that as an issue, but I didn't feel that. So that was amazing. The other one is that I realized that I can eat the food of the country. I can enjoy the different flavors, but I don't have to overeat. And that to me was amazing because that means that I'm changing my habits. And isn't that what I have to do in order to actually maintain this weight loss? So those two things were one of those that I would consider or put in the classification of soul deep NSVs. All right, so this trip to Colombia came at a very good place for me. It came at a place where I started to feel very unmotivated. I started to feel somewhat complacent in my weight loss, and this trip showed me, look how far you've come. Look what you can do now that you weren't able to do before. And it somehow motivated me to keep going. That even though all of these changes are amazing and all of these things I can do are awesome, I'm not done yet. And that's actually, that's why I set a goal for myself of 155, because I'm starting to get comfortable again. I'm starting to love what my body can do and what it's able to handle, and it doesn't get tired anymore, and it can do all of these things, and I like what I see when I look in the mirror. But because I gave myself a goal, I'm not done yet. I have to keep going. Okay, let me just see what else I wanted to talk about. So this is an interesting thought. When I first started this process of losing weight, I had roughly 120 pounds to lose. When I would look at that 120 pounds, it seemed impossible. And it was impossible at that time in my life. I honestly don't know. I know I couldn't have lost this weight without the surgery. So 120 pounds to lose to get to goal when I first started this. And now that I only have roughly 21 pounds to go, 21 pounds, I feel the same way. I feel almost that hopelessness again, which is ridiculous. But what it made me start thinking is, was it, in the beginning, was it truly the weight? Was that really the problem? Or is there something deeper? Is there something that's underneath that? Why do I feel that way? Why do I feel that same hopelessness at 120 pounds lost? Whereas now I've almost lost that 100 pounds and I just have the 20. Why do I feel that way? And I don't have an answer. I mean, I don't know. I think it's just my motivation is kind of waning a little bit and I need to pick that back up. So that's my update for this week, guys. It is just one full of non-scale victories. I am back on track with life, with eating right, with tracking. I need to get back to the gym a little bit harder because at this point where I'm at, it's just going to be hard work. It's, I can't cut back calories. I'm generally 1,000 calories, 800, 1,000 calories a day. So there's no way for me to cut it back anymore, and I don't need to. I think what I'm eating is absolutely healthy, but I do need to get myself into the gym and start burning more calories on a daily basis. So that is my last 3 weeks. I hope you guys are all doing well. I have been watching your YouTube videos, and I'm so proud of you guys. And I will see you next week. So keep making good choices and have a great rest of your week. Bye.